armor shop. There we are. I think I have to talk to this guy. Double the ambush, double the fun. Nice. We missed our own team with a positive spell. At this point, I'm just using the spells for what little XP I can scrape together. I like how he could have just killed us here, but he's like, think about it. Think about giving up. Man, that guy looks, he's got that characteristic British smile. And we just watch the ship take off. They don't care. They just leave us. Unfortunately, I think if I were to use teleport, it would just bring me back out to that dead end. What if he surprises kills them all? So, I mean, I got the pass, which is presumably to get on the Dreadnought. So I guess I have to go back to Altair. I should also use these shit level enemies for spamming my protective magic. Yeah, I like how the Dreadnought takes off and immediately lays waste to basically the entire planet. Yeah, even Altair got blown to shit. Sigma male Minwoo. Like, yeah, I could do something, but it's his fate to die. Unfortunately, we lose Minwoo for now. Ask him about the Dreadnought, he has nothing to say. You'd think the king of an entire nation would have some input. Alright, well, the only clue I have is that Sid is in Poft. Yeah, sadly, we lose our backbone white mage. It's, kind of tragic, if I'm being honest. Oops. So if I'm not mistaken, that area we had gone to yesterday, that I ended up backpedaling out of, I think that's where I'm actually supposed to go. I guess I could go north and talk to Joseph, but is there a point? He probably has nothing to say. Forgill. Alright, does this goon have anything to say? So he had literally nothing to contribute. Hope I can get back on that boat, or if I need to buy another trip. Alright, good. I plan on using the inn, which is why I'm casting sap on my own guys. If I can get an MP upgrade, that would be ideal. One more. Raising everyone's MP ideally means that Maria will have better targets for Osmos later when I inevitably get that tome. Because while my other guys aren't mages in any capacity, Maria would benefit from them having a higher MP total. Of course, I don't want to do anything stupid and have no MP for when I actually get to the Dreadnought. I don't know where I get Sunfire. I wish one of those assholes told me. I'm hoping that it's also on the Dreadnought. For these shit level fights, if I was just gonna camp outside town and like grind, I think I would be casting my spells on my own team. That way we're taking guaranteed damage for health growth. I don't know exactly how much health the magician has, which is why I didn't want to commit to using, what's it called? Fire, because I felt like that would be overkill. Perfect. So if I'm not mistaken, we should come across the Dreadnought. At some point. The hell are those? Jesus. Well, we're in Palamecia, so we will be fighting harder enemies at least. I mean, maybe I'm wrong? I thought you had to go here. This is not good. At 99% evasion, and she gets hit like every turn. Well, to the death, I guess. I mean, I just saved it, so us finding out that this is unplayable, I guess, is fine. They're taking their time killing my guys off. Now, let's see. Alright, so I wasn't even supposed to go this way yet. Because I have to get the Sunfire from a different place altogether. Which would explain why the airship wasn't there, because I didn't have the item to destroy it. I really do feel like physical attacks are undertuned. With how high basic enemy defense gets, I feel like physical damage in this game is undertuned. But that said, powering up magic is equally miserable. So maybe it's just a game that it's a game that's the issue. So I gotta find some place. I have no idea where it is. We could have taken an airship to it before, but I would have to go all the way back to POF to do it. I'm specifically using magic because I know the land turtle is going to take like 20 turns to kill otherwise. Let's see. 12, yeah. Zero, no, that was an 8, not 0. Close. At least now I can just waste turns and grind weapon skill. one weapon skill like it's World of Warcraft by doing as little damage as possible. You would think the world map would have, like, the major cities revealed already. It's like... Because it's not like you're going into, like, the great unknown. It's, like, very established settlements. How are these, like, ostriches tankier than, like, some ogre? So where is this even? I mean, there might be something down that way. That kind of looks like the Mysidia area, though, so that seems like a bad idea. The path all the way south. Werewolves. Why not Y-wolves? That's not good. I guess I entered Mysidia without realizing. No, still in Finn. What? I'm not at risk of dying to these enemies, so... You can just clobber some bugs. The church is up here, I think. What? I just lay their dead bodies out. Let God sort them out. Just like self-detonated all of my MP, but Maria gains more agility. Okay. Makes sense, I guess. I mean, I guess I'll get an airship to the place I need to be. That way I at least know where it is and I can waddle my ass back to whatever civilization is. Because I'm not entirely sure what continent it's supposed to be even. Because like I asked about like the Sunfire and all that and they didn't really say anything of value. Why don't you be like right outside Poft? So I have to assume the airship prices are based on distance, so it seems like... Yeah, like you ask about Sunfire and he tells us literally nothing. But I have to assume this is distance based, because Altair is the furthest away and is also the most expensive. But we have to go to Kashwan, however you pronounce that. So where will this bring us? Yeah, if we would have had to go all the way back to Bafsk and then go waddle our ass down. So I mean, I can walk my way back. We should save. I can walk my ass back, so we can fight stuff on the way at least. Speaking of. I have a strange feeling. I have a strange feeling that I needed to go back to Altair and ask about the Sunfire. Because I feel like someone should be here. It's just like, well, here's the fire that I can't do anything with. And a locked door. That's kind of what I mean. The game, it asks the Sunfire about Sunfire. That's part of what I mean about the game, is like it expects you to talk to literally everyone and ask literally everyone about literally everything. Which isn't terrible, don't get me wrong, but it's a little convoluted. So we gotta walk our ass back. So that looks like a cave of some sort. I should probably check that, but I mean, I'm gonna be coming back here anyway. I don't know what that is. Can't wait to find out that this is just a whole lot of nothing. It's gonna be a whole lot of nothing, isn't it? This is gonna be like some bonus content area that I have no interest in doing anyway. Yeah, Arcane Labyrinth is extra bullshit. Some of the extra content that was added in the re-releases of the Pixel era games is... they're kind of anti-fun. Because it'll be like, here's like a 500 floor dungeon, and the rewards aren't even really good. It's like, what is the point? I remember some of the bonus dungeons for Final Fantasy IV, because in the re-releases you could get the old party members that leave, like Edward. His, like, special dungeon, it's like you have to use your actual currency to, like, progress. Which, I mean, like, it's novel, I guess, but it's just like, yeah, I want to grind 1,000,000 gil just to piss it away for some item for Edward, like... And those guys will sail us across the world for 30 gil, and that one asshole's like, yeah, you want to go the same distance, it's 700. Like, I'm good. I'll walk. Hornet said no and left. That might actually be enough to give her an MP boost. Nope. Might as well drain the rest of her MP, and then use the end. At least as sap goes up in level, it should be more likely to actually do anything to my party. Not that I keep using it and then it does 0 damage to their mana pools. Furion must be immune to magic. Yeah, all that, and Maria doesn't even get an MP boost. Nice meme. So surely asking Hilda, or whatever her name is, about the Sunfire will give me some valuable plot relevant info. Conveniently, Gordon disappeared. He wasn't turned into a crater with the bombing of Altair, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure he goes to Kashuan, which is why I was expecting him to be there. Yeah, I like how nonchalant everyone is. Like, literally every town got bombed, more or less. And they're just walking off. A little based, if I'm being honest. I'll try this again. guess I'll check out whatever this thing is to the south. Oh, Chocobo Forest. Wait, no Chocobos. Weird. Maybe I'm just expected to have Gashal greens. So I remember in Final Fantasy IV, the Chocos were just roaming around. Can I throw the ring in the fire like it's Mordor? What about the canoe? According to this, I need a key item. I thought Gordon would provide it, but what I was supposed to do is go back to Salaman, apparently. Cause I do have to find Gordon, apparently, but instead of going back to his homeland, he went on a field trip to the frozen wastelands north of us. we are going to get a new transportation device soon. Unfortunately, it only works in the area we get it for, making me wonder why it even exists. But there's a mini-game attached to it. I think it's a memory game. You can actually get some pretty insane items from it, but in order to optimally do it, you kind of have to cheat. And I don't have the patience for doing that right now. You ask him about Sunfire, learn nothing. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing something important. So, like, was I supposed to talk to Minwoo? What? What a convoluted game. Let's see. Of course, I had to talk to the... I was supposed to talk to the king, who previously had absolutely nothing to say, so why would I think that he would have contributed anything in a meaningful way? It's funny because I remember how to get the snowmobile, I just didn't remember how to get to the part that enables me to do that. How aggravating. guess I should, while I'm in this easy area, I should be using sap again to try and boost everyone's MP values. Hey, Furion got hit for once. Now we have to go talk to Joseph. And he will be joining our party temporarily. Really just for the snow cave. Unfortunately, Joseph is more or less a monk, so he's just gonna contribute to my main squad beating things to death. And he doesn't really provide us any utility. I did find out, however, while trying to figure this nonsense out, the Snowcraft minigame actually changes if you get a character's frog skill to 16, like the spell frog, which then enables you to get super endgame items. But like, do I want to power level the frog spell just for that? Sounds a little miserable. gonna go back to the mine. So one good thing about Joseph, at least, in spite of his lack of utility, being basically on the monk grind set, he functions perfectly fine with his bare hands. We gotta go to Summit Falls first. Which I believe we have to take this route anyway. Yeah, the snowcraft was inside a treasure chest. Is it like collapsible? We haven't actually gotten any weapon skill in a while for anyone. What is that all looking like? They're all at 6 and 7. Which I guess that would probably explain why, because I'm probably still fighting low rank enemies. It's not even like we move quickly with the snowcraft, it's just like a forced plot element, kinda. Joseph does nothing, gains... What's that? Nothing. Does nothing, gains HP. Unless I wanted a guy to start dual-wielding axes, that new one does nothing. And I mean, I could have him dual-wield axes, but he would lose a substantial amount of evasion. Where I was? Not actually sure. Now to keep in mind, I'm just using these spells with Maria to get her experience. I'm not doing it because I think it's, like, optimal. So obviously I would just be blasting them with fire spells. But I have to have a diverse pool of magic for scenarios that an enemy happens to absorb something. Because then my level 9 fire or whatever would be is then useless. So now I can stop the thunder at least, because that's the lowest level one. Why'd that do so much damage to the grenades? I would have figured they'd be vulnerable to ice. Shame no one uses spears. Ten hits. I think it can go up to 16. start conserving my MP with Maria, though. That's where I'm supposed to go, I think. We get some very relevant character development. Ancient sword and a monster in a box. Okay, that's easy. So for curiosity's sake. I could be wrong, but I think his accuracy just plummeted. Yeah, it does. Why has it dropped 40%? Giant beaver. Here it comes. Guy Speak Beaver. Guess I should have Maria cast Cure. Maybe get a Spirit upgrade. That's what I have for everyone. Guess it wouldn't hurt to give him that. Yeah, the game really has us fighting Adamantoise with some dude that just uses his bare fucking hands. So here's hoping the Ancient Sword applies Curse, so we will hopefully be able to deal damage to it. Because Curse lowers defense, I believe. So that actually makes it so fighting these things isn't just absolute misery. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, this is, I believe, one of 2 dungeons that you can't teleport out of. But at least they gave us a shortcut. And here's this goofy motherfucker. That dude just decided it's a perfectly good time to throw his life away. Instead of just being like, well, what if I defect and help you guys? He's like, I have to die trying, unironically. Yeah, he got 2-shot. He got absolutely obliterated. This guy decides to set up a fucking Indiana Jones boulder trap. And somehow Joseph holds it off on his own with his bare hands. Jared. That's how you know they're dead, when they fade out of reality. Well, thanks for the snowcraft. Mine now. Yeah, one of the big reasons I don't plan on doing Soul of Rebirth, because I might as well say it now that it's actually happened. You control the characters who die during the story. And the problem with that is you're put in an endgame area with characters who may or may not have actually gotten any stat progression whatsoever. Considering most people would get Joseph and go immediately here, they wouldn't have developed the character in any meaningful way. And I remember the last time I played Soul Rebirth on stream, it was basically just Reset Simulator while I got lucky enough to get through the first area without a full party wipe. And I can't exactly say that's good gameplay. That's good game design. Yeah. Joseph is now dead. His daughter is now an orphan. Maybe he should have considered that before throwing his life away, but the plot demanded his sacrifice. Yeah, another thing about that is that also means the characters that you do get in your party, you have to make sure that they aren't wearing literally nothing when they go in, because otherwise it'll be a catastrophe. So, like, it's kind of opposite of how you would rationally play a game. It's like, well, this character is leaving forever, I should take all of his gear so I don't lose it. But if you do that, then it makes it more unplayable in the actual... I don't know if you'd call it DLC, it's technically that. Alright, so now we can go to Kashuan. Surely. Surely I'm not going to get there and find out there's another step I need. I do believe we get our own airship at some point, but I'm not sure exactly when. It could be super late game for all I know, since I guess it would assume you're using Sid's airship to get around otherwise. Um, the way the stat progression in this game works is every action has a direct, tangible effect on your character's growth, in place of traditional experience points. So, even if, let's say I put Furion in the backline and he was just attacking the air, he would still be getting experience for his sword, even if he's hitting nothing. So, in scenarios like this, where the enemies have literally no chance of actually harming me in any meaningful way, hurting myself is actually fine as far as progressing my character's stats. In fact, it is advised if you want to try and power level to use worse weapons so you get more hits in, because it's not like the damage you deal, it's just hits, it's just actions taken that matter. Unfortunately, enemies also have a hidden rank value, which basically just dictates the effectiveness of any training you might be doing. So low rank enemies, like the stuff you find at the start of the game, you can't just grind for 30 hours and then everything is at level 16. It doesn't work that way. Which is the main reason why Maria is using 2 shields, because that's basically the main way of increasing evasion, is just not getting hit in general. All of these stats have a direct influence on something. So, Spirit affects your white magic, Intelligence affects black magic, Strength is obviously physical attacks. I think Agility affects how many attacks your characters get, like when it says like 3 hit or 4 hit or whatever. If it doesn't do that, then that might just affect turn order. But that's why a lot of the times I'm using stuff like Sap on my own party, because it damages their MP. And my guys having no spells means that it's impossible for them to level their MP otherwise, unless monsters are using Osmos or whatever on me. That's why in a lot of these scenarios that like I'm outside of town, I will intentionally blow all my MP to try and get upgrades for Maria. Part of the problem is our health keeps growing higher, and later in the game, enemies do have percent damage. Yeah, it's very backwards. I believe in the original, your stats could actually decay. So like if you decided that I wanted to make Furion like a bow and arrow guy, I believe his other stats would actually start suffering as I developed it. I don't believe that is in the modern versions of the game, however. But, like I said yesterday, the most optimal thing is to just pick a character and, well, this is my sword guy, or this is my mage. Because it's really not optimal to try and have everyone be good at everything, because that's like, well, I want to invest the next 500 fucking hours of my life into doing this. In the original, you could also, it was a bug, but if you canceled commands before the turn, like, commenced, that counted, even though the turns were being voided. I like how Gordon's like, hey, you guys are all here. I can't go back empty-handed. What will I do? At no point is he like, hey, you guys should help me. Yeah, like Maria has to be the one to tell him. Yeah, he's the prince of the kingdom, but he doesn't know his way around. Technically, I guess he would be considered the king now, since his brother and presumably parents are dead. So I don't actually know about Gordon's stats. Spear. Well, I guess I could give him that Mithril Spear. and he has no magic, so he's basically just another sword and board character. But yeah, the stat progression in this game is convoluted, and I feel as though it's no surprise that they didn't implement it in any future Final Fantasy games. Granted, Final Fantasy III's stat system is not much better, but it is at least somewhat coherent. In 3, you get... it's a job system where you swap between them at will. However, swapping jobs gives you a stat penalty that lasts for an indeterminate amount of battles. So, I mean, like, if you're in some random area with, like, fodder enemies, then it's no big deal. Just grind out the fights. But, like, if you're in the middle of, like, a dungeon and you decide, hey, I really need my Black Mage to be a Dragoon, you then get, like, a steep penalty to your stats for, like, 5 battles. And then they're basically useless. The original games were, strange. Even Final Fantasy IV, the original stat growth for that game was strange. Because it was generally coherent until you get to, like, the super endgame levels, like level, like, 90 plus, where some of your characters actually start losing stats on level up. That's not the same in the modern versions because they realized, I guess, that that's fucking garbage game design. But it was something I remembered when I was playing through years and years ago. Because even some characters, they didn't have, like, Tella. He actually gains no... he's a wizard, he's a sage. But he gains no MP until such a late level that you wouldn't even have him anymore. Like, the plot, like, you'd have to be deliberately grinding. Because it's plot related that he just doesn't have the MP to cast, like, the super endgame stuff. Use a Suna on the guy that's poisoned or whatever, and then it misses. That's another thing. Your beneficial spells can miss. I don't know if it has anything to do with magic resistance, because that is a stat. Or if it's rank-based. Because, I mean, like, realistically, what difference would a level 1 or a level 16 protect spell do? Presumably it wins scale, because that doesn't really make any sense. That would mean you had to be grinding it from, like, the beginning of the game for it to ever be useful. Final Fantasy 3 is, the early game sucks, but once you get past the first hurdle and you actually start having, like, the good jobs, it becomes okay. Because at the beginning of Final Fantasy 3, it kind of layers, like, some of the Dungeons and Dragons elements that the first game had on you. Like, I know there's a beginning cave that you're required to cast Mini on your party to get through, because it's like, well, the hole is like microscopic, so you have to shrink down to get through it. But the problem is, you still have to fight enemies while in Mini, so if your characters aren't spellcasters, you're dealing 0 damage. But that gets better as you progress through the game, at least. Unlike this, where this is what I have to look forward to for the entire game. Ideally, the intelligent thing, if I want to grind, let's say, health for Maria, the ideal scenario would be that she's the only person in the front line with 2 shields. So everyone else is missing because as a melee characters can't land attacks from the back row. If they're the only people remaining, then that becomes the front row. But while there's someone in front, they basically get priority on every attack that isn't ranged or magic. Which is why sometimes you'll see enemies in the back row in these big formations just not take turns, because there's nothing they can do. They can't hit anything. Yeah, I wanted to focus and get Maria health early, because if she stayed in the back row the entire game, she'd probably have like 80 health by now, and the problem is, she would be virtually immune to physical attacks, but all it would take would be one party-wide, like, fire or like a bow and arrow attack to just kill her instantly. So at least like this, I'm getting her evasion higher. I don't know if evasion matters against, like, the bow attacks, but in case of emergency, it's still good to have. The problem is using a shield diminishes your magic power. It actually makes your spells worse. So technically, her spells should be a lot more potent, but because she has 2 shields, it's basically neutered. And, later, I believe I don't know what it's called, but there's a weapon later that I could give Maria that gives her evasion, but it doesn't penalize her magic power. to find it. I have no idea where it actually is or what it's even called. Yeah, the game has a lot of like checks and balances that are going on under the hood that the game does not tell you. I only found out that shields diminish your magic power on accident by looking at stuff in the wiki. I feel like there was something over here. Monster in a box. What is with it? Like, the first monster in a box we got was like an actually dangerous fight, and now it's just like, here's like a bunch of rats. I actually did do research though, trying to figure out the most optimal way of turning these characters into death machines, and there really isn't. Unless you want to do like Peninsula of Power leveling, which at some point would fall off in usefulness anyway. It's really like, well, just play the game. Like, it's just a lot of arcane information, like, well, you should try casting your spells on your own party to deal damage. Otherwise, you're gonna have like stuff like this where they miss every attack. So, if I wanted to grind health or the stamina stat, they have to be getting hit. Because you do get HP like over time, no matter what, but stamina is what dictates how much you actually get per level. Which is why I had to put Maria in the front, because it would be like 5 HP per level otherwise for her. It's very like proto-MMO in its stat system, if that makes any sense. It's like grinding for the sake of it. It's funny too, because like you have to consider my guys haven't gotten a weapon upgrade in hours, technically. Furion got one when we were doing the snow cave, and Maria and Guy have gotten nothing. because of the rank system, more or less. Which is why going to Peninsula of Power is useful. But if you're like me, you're gonna get like a formation of 8 flans and they just nuke your entire party. If I was a lucky person, that would be a viable leveling option, but it's... I'm not a lucky person. Weird that some of my favorite games are luck-based. Whether it's in actual game mechanics or in matchmaking like League of Legends. But... it is what it is. Well, I still have MP to spend. I may as well nuke Furion and Guy's mana bars. Or try to. I can pretend like it will do something. Buster. Yeah, Curse has to land for my guys to deal damage. That's the big problem. Hopefully I can actually get Osmos at some point soon. And then I don't have to worry so much about Maria using her spells. Like, we just fought the Adamantoise as a boss in the Snow Cave, and now it's just a normal enemy, apparently. At least the Adamantoise is focusing Maria so she can get some stamina. Ironically, she got no stamina. So the Werebuster is a mace. Unfortunate. Let's see. 69 accuracy. Same accuracy, okay. Yeah, I guess because this an ancient sword, I guess because it has like a modifier that they have to impact your accuracy somehow to balance it. Otherwise, just having like a free curse on hit would be kind of broken. just in case there's a chest. It's bad. I mean, there's a chance Berserk misses anyway, to be fair. But this is what I mean. The game loves having trap rooms. And I'm pretty sure the encounter rate is much higher in these rooms. It becomes very annoying in some of the later game dungeons when things are actually dangerous. Oh, 3 adamantoises in this one place. They don't like Gordon one bit. So the golden armor isn't bad, but being in armor and not like a lighter armor, you lose more evasion. Pretty much everything affects your evasion in this game. It's weird. Evasion is pretty much the primary defensive layer in this game. Because, like, you'd think, well, just stack health, but later enemies have percent health attacks. So you really don't want to get too much health. This is going to be unpleasant, I think. A red soul. Curse will land, surely. Okay, good. Considering I have no potions and no mana, it might be in my best interest to use a teleport tome on Yurian or Guy so they can teleport us out. But doing that would leave them with basically single-digit health, so I don't know how feasible that actually is as a strategy. Like, I might be better just walking out. think that's for the mini status. My main concern is running into mages or adamantoises that can actually hurt my party. I guess technically I could give Gordon teleport, since he's a temporary character and I don't really care if he dies. Do I even have one, or have I just been posturing about having one? I mean, Warp Tome functions similarly. Yeah, might have to do that. I've forgotten where I'm supposed to go to get out of here. Surely the stairway it dropped me at wasn't the way out, it was the way back to the floor above. This is the way. I assume because I was on the first floor, I would have been able to just walk right out. So now we can commit terrorism on the Dreadnought. Uh-oh. It's a little nonsensical. Gordon very quickly co-opted Maria with health. I only just noticed that. Sid's gone. Surely he's not dead. Empire captured Princess Hilda, airship and all. Went back to Altair and tell the rebels what happened. How did the rebels not know if she was at Altair? Would she just leave Altair for no reason? The only place that they're actually safe from the Empire? Set down somewhere eventually. Just find it. Just know where it is. I have to make sure I buy potions before we leave. Go nuts with that stuff. Have some ethers for emergencies. I don't believe I'll be able to buy any real upgraded magic until I get to Mysidia. I mean, not that it's upgraded in skill rank, but I just mean like that's more interesting than Fire or Asuna or whatever. Because the mages you fight, whether it's the Ogre Magi or the Magicians, they can drop tomes, but they're not exactly super common enemies, and even then it's only a chance that it drops. So I'm assuming now is when I have to go and find the Dreadnought. And if it's where I've been looking, which is what I think, it should be there now. ambushed by turtles. How exactly? Mage's staff? Does that do anything? Maybe. Yeah, here it is. Wasn't here earlier. Were-panther. Just making it up as I go along. So I believe if I talk to any of these guys, it triggers a fight with a captain enemy. I could try fighting one, see how it goes, since I did just save. So maybe I'll do that. And the one guy lets us on, but everyone else, Jesus. And granted that was a critical hit, but holy shit. I mean, that wasn't horrible, but we got basically nothing out of it. Now we kill him, and then he's just like, okay, whatever. Doesn't die, doesn't leave to get help. He's just like, okay, we'll just walk it off. hill divers log in? This got like a zombie apocalypse wandering around on the Dreadnought, and none of like those Imperial captains seem to mind. Considering there are missable items in certain areas, the Dreadnought being one of them, I mean, that's obvious. We're here to blow the thing up. I have to make sure I check everywhere. It's 2 different stairs. This might actually be the way I'm supposed to go. So I need to go back. I say as I keep moving forward. I have to assume that door I passed is a dead end, but I mean, there's a chance there's an item in it. That's very French. Missed everyone, nice. The one time Maria doesn't go first since when I decide to heal. Another bow. It would probably be in my best interest to move Maria to the back line and start actually having her level up with bows. I'm just afraid that she doesn't have enough actual evasion once I unequip the shields. And if you notice, my guys don't have helmets or gloves. Because literally everything will reduce your evasion. Let's see. 99%, 99.34 on defensive player. And 39, so magic defense actually goes up. Let's see. If I give her a mithril helm, what happens? Well, I mean, she still has the evasion, which is actually surprising. How does it look if I remove the shields? Yeah, that plummets to 31%. See, here are these goons. Found them on accident. So, I have to keep looking before I dump the Sunfire. Find all the stuff we can. It is a little nuts though, watching Furion go from hitting for like 200 to hitting for 7. Kinda gives me whiplash a little bit. Yeah, 233. The last hit was 7 damage. So I'm assuming the way south is the way I'm supposed to go. So what's that other staircase at the very beginning? Not a pleasant looking encounter. I want to focus the magicians because I know they can put my guys to sleep, but if the Werepanther is similar to the coral enemies you fight throughout the entire series, they have a chance of instantly killing people with Blaster. So I think that's the correct play. Now I can just focus the magicians after this. I know there's a way into that cell. I think it's a hidden wall. Yeah, like... Is it random damage on the ancient sword? Because it is starting to feel a little deranged. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Magician's first, I guess. Unfortunately, I can't attack the back row, so Maria will have to do that. Unless I just want to chop through the sergeants. have to do that. I mean, there's a chance that Gordon retargeting will hit the magicians. But at least he can focus it now. The Sleep Blade is okay. I mean, Sleep is decent. But considering my party is pretty much entirely physical damage focused right now, I think the Ancient Sword is better. Doesn't lose too much evasion, so I guess that's okay. What about this? Yeah, it's not too terrible. A little bit tankier in exchange for less evasion overall. Probably use like Ether in the next battle, because I feel like consumables like potions and ethers have more value in combat than out of it. Like to incentivize you to actually heal in fights and not wait until after. What I should do, however, is sort my inventory, so I don't have to go rummaging through all this trash. Really waiting until he's on death's door to blind my team out of spite, I guess. I am a little surprised Maria hasn't gotten a single upgrade to her MP in what seems like the entire stream. But it might be the magic stat that influences how much MP you get. For, like, I get level, if you'd call it that. So I guess it's not the worst thing as long as I'm still getting other stats. Should have snuck in a cure. Oh well. It's not that dire. Trident. I'm guessing that's a spear? Yeah. Is that what I think it is? I mean, it's a dagger. Knife that raises evasion. So that's actually the exact thing I was looking for. So, I mean, now she can actually attack. Let's see, magic defense is 45. No, that doesn't get changed. Yes, she can actually attack things now. Hilgig is... ah, fuck. Well, he should attack them, weaken them with the curse. I guess Berserk on everyone. Yeah, she's on healer duty. Another mage's staff. I'm curious. Can we dual wield like this? We can. How does this affect her? Her evasion goes to shit, so that's not feasible right now. I assume the Giant's Helm gives strength. It increases his attack. How does it affect his evasion? A little bit. Drops like 10%. He's beefy enough right now that I think it's okay. These guys exist basically to be a pseudo-mage, a maze. I believe killing them while fighting those guys doesn't actually do anything either. So they're really just there to grief you. Lost and left her. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, if I'm gonna get forced into a battle. Sunfire, yeah, the Sunfire, despite being brought into the torch, is a separate item. was a little flaccid, the ship exploding. Yeah, I want the guy who is formerly a coward in hiding to lead the army. Wants us to go to Deist, home of the Dragoons. That's how you know they're dead, when they phase out of reality. They get brought to the void. Hee hee. Yep, whatever that means, lady. But that's it for me for today. Thing I stopped by. Thing I see the views, hosts, follows, everything. You guys are awesome. Perfect timing, to be fair. While I'm here, I might try and do some leveling in the Peninsula of Power, but I'm not holding my breath on that. So,